Islam. In Islam, when these people are striking terror in the hearts of the unbelievers, that's exactly what the Quran tells them to do in chapter 8, verse 60. As a matter of fact, striking terror in the unbelievers is mentioned 3 times in the Quran, and
Well,
waging
okay.
war against unbelievers, cutting off their heads, it's all in there.
Okay, so Robert Spencer, let's go back. Let's go back for a second. So here we are. We're talking about um, uh, uh, whether or not Muhammad existed,
Yeah,
and you and I could be killed for talking about this.
yeah,
You,
that's
you
right.
you and I can be, someone would execute us because we're being blasphemous towards Islam. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're absolutely right, sir. There's no doubt. There's a death penalty for blasphemy, and they would consider what we are doing by even discussing this question to be blasphemous.
So, so how do you feel about that?
Well, that doesn't bother me a whole lot. I think that it's very important in the first place that we show that we're not going to bow to that kind of intimidation, and that's what it is. It's just bullying at heart. They're saying you talk about this, you do this, you bother us, you offend us, and we'll kill you. And in a free society, we have to put up with other people who don't believe the same things we do and might do things that we find offensive. That's the whole basis of a free society, that kind of tolerance. And if we don't have it, then we don't have a free society. And so really to have a book like Did Muhammad Exist is a basic act, a blow for freedom, an attempt to defend the freedoms that are so hard won for all Americans.
But you're in America and you have a lot of zealot. We have a lot of religious zealots. One of the things I looked up before I came on the air was Trump's ban on Muslims, and the interesting thing was everyone was calling him a xenophobe and an Islamophobe, and come to find out the guy saved a lot of lives in the with his rhetoric and his action when he barred Muslims from coming into the country, some Muslim countries. He said these are the countries that have said they're going to kill us, and guess what? I'm not going to let them come in here and kill us.
That's all it was. It was a national security question. The countries that were on the list were countries that would not or could not give us adequate information about the people who wanted to come in. And so it was really just common sense. I mean, you're going to let anybody who knocks on your door come into your house?
Well, that's what Joe Biden has done because they're not coming into his house. And
exactly.
But I want them to come into his house, and I want them to come right into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and give this guy exactly what he needs. He needs a foot in his behind, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you got a point. If they had to pay the consequences for their policies, then they wouldn't call for these kinds of crazy ideas. But it's because they're sheltered from all consequences of what they advocate, and we have to pay the price. They don't care.
Well, but we need to make them care, and I think the reaction on January 6th, regardless of who started it, I don't think President Trump incited it. They keep calling it an insurrection. The FBI said no, it's not an insurrection. It was a domestic terrorism act. But the media keeps calling it an insurrection. It's an insurrection. Have you ever noticed how these people try to shape what we think? They don't care about the facts. The FBI, which is a law enforcement organization, the top law enforcement organization of the land, said that January 6th was not an insurrection. It was an act of domestic terror.
They want to criminalize all opposition. And so they have to make it sound as bad as it possibly can. And that's why they call it an insurrection.
I'm looking at CNN, MSNBC, and I have to, and I look at Fox News, and between the lies of all of these 3 stations, like critical race theory is not taught in K through 12. Critical race theory is not taught in undergrad. Critical race theory is taught to some graduate students. They're not teaching critical race theory, and critical race theory is not racist. Critical race theory is a serious critique and quantitative and analytical breakdown and study of the law, the legal framework, and race in our society.
Yeah. Well, this is just the kind of deception they always engage in, and most people are not informed enough to realize how they're being bamboozled and how to see through it.
But it's on both sides. Trump comes
Yeah.
out. Trump says when he's campaigning, "Hey, we need to see who these people are." Let's listen to President Trump real quick. Let's see if I can. Let's see here. I don't think it's coming through. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, Jillian, it's good to be with you. And frankly, it's people who are keeping our nation.
Oh, that's Scalise. That wasn't Trump. I'm sorry. But that was, again, that was Scalise talking about what Tlaib had said about open borders and keeping our borders open, and she was calling for the disbandment of Homeland Security, basically. I mean, she's an Arab. People don't know that they keep this woman from Minnesota. She's a Muslim. She's an Arab, and the thing is, in her country, she wouldn't be able to speak. In her country, she would never been able to run for an office and become a congressman, or to divorce her husband and marry her campaign manager.
Yep. And yet the ironic thing is that she seems to want to make the United States just like the place she left.
Well, she can go back to the place she left. In fact, I'll help her pack. But and she could take her husband with her, who she's gotten millions of dollars. And this is the thing. We know that these people are stealing. AOC, she's put millions of dollars in her boyfriend's pocket. This Tlaib, she's done the same thing. The Omar, she's done the same thing. Yeah. It's well documented that Omar committed immigration fraud. So
because she's part of a protected group, the people who have special privileges, because she can charge 3 things. She's part of 3 victim classes. She can charge racism, sexism, and Islamophobia if anybody gets in her way.
But we wouldn't believe that. We're not believing that.
Well,
that's the point.
A lot of people aren't onto it, but I think more and more are all the time.
So what do we do about it? Where do you see this going?
Well, I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better. For the most part, still don't realize how they're being lied to. But there are people waking up, and so I have hope in that.
Well, look, let's take a break. We'll come back and let you finish up, okay?
Yes, sir.
America's Cannabis Conversation, and I'm here to talk to you about how you can take responsibility for your own health. CV Science products that can help you empower yourself against the COVID-19 virus are CV Acute and CV Defense. The Acute product is taken at an early onset of feelings of discomfort and works over 3 days to assist your immune system to fight off this virus. Recently on my program, I had an interview with Dr. Michael Lewis, who's been in public health for decades. I asked him about personal responsibility, and he said,
"You are responsible for your own health. Don't count on the government to provide you with a magic pill or a magic shot for your health. That is your personal responsibility."
If you want to empower yourself and take control of your health care, go to empoweryourself.info. That's empoweryourself.info. and take care of your health care. Hello, this is Dan Perkins, and I want to talk to you about CV Science's new product to give you a healthy immune system. The all-natural product is called CV Defense, and this supplement is designed to protect you against attack on your immune system. Take it every day, keep your immune system and you healthy. Be proactive about protecting your immune system and protecting your body by using CV Defense. For more information, you can go to empoweryourself.info. That's empoweryourself.info.
Well, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the Reality Check with Charles Butler. I'm here with Mr. Robert Spencer. He has a new book out, And it's about Muhammad, if he really existed. And I think that's a great question. That's a great topic. You know, as I said to him earlier, he and I could be killed because of our attitudes about Muhammad. Okay. Um, so Robert, really quick here, have you heard of the concept of taqiyya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these Muslims who are here, I think they practice taqiyya, like Barack Obama. He acts like he's a non-Muslim, and he's deceiving. It's a practice, folks. For you folks out there, taqiyya is a Islamic concept to lie and deceive non-Muslims into believing that you're really with them and on their side when they are secretly undermining you to promote Islam. Um, and this is written into their religion, and Americans, because they're stupid, your word's your bond. That's a European thing. You can't, when you go to Asia and Africa, your word is not your bond. People are always trying to, they'll say anything to get you to do anything that benefits them. So your word is not your bond in these particular situations. Am I right or wrong here?
You're absolutely right. It's actually in the Quran. In chapter 3, verse 28, it says, "Do not take unbelievers as your friends and protectors in preference to believers." And whoever does this has nothing to do with Allah, unless you were doing it to guard yourselves against them. Then you go to the Islamic commentaries on that passage, "Guard yourselves against them." And it says, this means, and it quotes one of Muhammad's earliest followers, Abu ad-Darda, and it says, "We smile in the faces of some people and behind their backs we curse them." Maududi, Syed Abul Ala Maududi, who was a Pakistani politician and Islamic scholar in the 20th century, he wrote that this verse means that Muslims can pretend to be on the side of their enemies in order to protect Islam. And so that's exactly what you're talking about, that they deceive people who they perceive as their enemies for their own benefit.
Well, I am so glad, though, that we've decided to pull the plug on Afghanistan. I don't know what to do. What I am concerned about is that we never took out the poppies. If we were so concerned about drugs, we were so concerned about a lot of things, why didn't we take out the poppy farms?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The whole thing in Afghanistan was mishandled from start to finish.
I mean,
and I share.
Go ahead.
I absolutely agree that it's a good thing we're getting out. We should have gotten out 17 or 18 years ago or more.
What was the reason for being there? I mean,
well, exactly. We went in to topple the Taliban. We toppled the Taliban in a few months. Should have left right away.
And the other thing is, these people have been warring with each other for centuries, and they're going to continue to war. They're ignorant. See, and this is the thing that people don't understand about this region, Bob, unless you've been there. The people are ignorant. The people are backwards. They're living in 1700 AD. And just because they wear Western clothes and they drive around in cars and they have rifles, AK-47s, people think that somehow these people are like the rest of the world. No, they're not. They're like living in the Stone Age.
Well, when you have an ideology that calls for endless warfare, then it kind of takes over everything else. And it makes for a stunted culture that doesn't develop in a lot of other ways because so much energy is going to this. And so this is a constant in Islamic history. I have another book, The History of Jihad, I wrote a few years back. And it shows how this warfare against unbelievers has gone on everywhere Muslims and non-Muslims live together. And so it shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone that a lot of the places that pursue this are culturally stunted because they've just been fighting all the time.
Yeah, like for the last 1,400 years.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, look, man, it has been really an honor and privilege to chat with you this evening. I hope you enjoyed our chat.
Yes, sir. Very much. Oh, good to talk to you.
Did Muhammad exist? An inquiry into Islam's obscure origins. Hey, get with my guys over at Publish, a special guest, and have them send me a book, would you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'll have AJ get in touch with you.
Yeah, man, this is really good. This is really, really, really good. I would like to read this. I'd like to add it to my. I think you have some interesting things to say. So, what did you think about the input and insights that I had into Islam here?
Oh, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. And there's a whole lot more we could talk about. And just call me anytime.
I will, Robert. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, folks. You can
Thank
go out and
you,
buy the
sir.
book. You can go out and buy the book at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere they sell quality books. It's "Did Muhammad Exist? An Inquiry into Islam's Obscure Origins," and Mr. Robert Spencer. Robert Spencer. And we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, this is Dan Perkins from America's Cannabis Conversation, and I'm here to talk to you about how you can take responsibility for your own health. CV Science products that can help you empower yourself against the COVID-19 virus are CV Acute and CV Defense. The Acute product is taken at an early onset of feelings of discomfort and works over 3 days to assist your immune system to fight off the virus. The second product is CV Defense, which is taken daily, and it helps to optimize the power of your immune system to fight off this virus. Recently on my program, I had an interview with Dr. Michael Lewis, who's been in public health for decades. I asked him about personal responsibility, and he said,
You are responsible for your own health. Don't count on the government to provide you with a magic pill or a magic shot for your health. That is your personal responsibility.
if you want to empower yourself and take control of your healthcare, go to empoweryourself.info. That's empoweryourself.info and take care of your healthcare.
Hi, this is Charles Butler, the host of the radio show, The Reality Check with Charles Butler. At Asset Benefits, we provide our clients with the rates and benefits from over 20 top-rated life insurance companies. We make you informed decision makers about final expense, mortgage protection, and securing your family's financial stability with the loss of a loved one. Hey, don't wait. Pick up the phone and call 312-667-9111 for your free quote and evaluation. So don't leave your family in a financial crisis because for a free analysis and quote at 312-667-9111. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. We are broadcasting live out here, and we're gonna
Yeah, Jillian, it's good to be with you.
And I think Donald
because of President Biden's policies, where he's
that's Scalise, I think. Dang, I don't know. I was recording Trump. I guess I didn't get it. I didn't pick it up where he talked about the Muslim ban. But look, I'm gonna switch gears on you. And we're going to start talking a little bit about the violence in Chicago. The violence in Chicago is totally out of hand, and Joe Hartman.
I don't believe nothing's going to really come of the meeting with Mayor Lightfoot and President Biden. The reason why is because Mayor Lightfoot has a dismal track record in the area of reducing gun violence in Chicago. In the year 2020, homicides were up 53%. This year, we have over 2,000 people shot and close to like 370 people murdered here in Chicago. 10 kids under the age of 15 were killed. 10 young people under the age of 15 were killed. And shootings of young people under the age of 15 are up 23% in Chicago right now. And the homicide clearance rate is only like 9. Failed leader here in Chicago. And actually, the thing is, I don't want to be too hard on the mayor, but I will say this. I would not even speak about the mayor if she would stop saying she has a plan to reduce gun violence in Chicago. The superintendent continues to talk about his big plans over the 4th of July holiday weekend, and we had like a massacre in Chicago. So my thing is,
when he says a massacre, there were over 100 people wounded, and I think 17 killed. That was just immediately. So probably more than that died from their wounds.
President Biden can do whatever he plans to do, but he needs to meet with people down in the trenches here in Chicago doing work on the ground level.
Well, and that wasn't even the
meet with the people on the ground level. That is the problem. You know, these community leaders, they think they know something because they live in the community. That reminds me of the slave mentality. Well, because I've been on the plantation, I know how the plantation runs. He said, meet with people on the ground. I'm making a note of that because I got to use that in something here. Go ahead.
Reason that he went to Chicago, he went there to talk about the American Rescue Plan and tout all the benefits from that. And it was just a side meeting with Mayor Lightfoot there. She tries to claim that crime is actually going down. How do you react to that?
She's playing games with the numbers right now. People should meet with the victims of gun violence and see if crime is going down when you meet with the victims. We're talking about over 2,000.
Well, meeting with the victims won't tell you if crime is going down. It's about feelings. You know, the numbers tell you if crime is going up or down, not meeting with people. Community leader, though, right? Community activist.
People shot in Chicago this year already. Close to 370 people have been murdered. So how is crime going down? Talk to the family members that lost their loved ones and say that. We have a 1-month-old right now in the hospital, you know, young 1-month-old young girl that was shot, 8-year-old girl shot in the head. Talk to their family members to see if crime is really going down. People need to stop playing games with the numbers, and that's what's happening right now.
People need to stop playing games with the numbers. Yeah, that's true. They do. But, you know, is that going to happen? Absolutely not. Now, T.O. also had another claim that, you know, black on black crime is like 80%. I think it's more like 90%. It doesn't make any difference. But black folks are killing black folks and it needs to stop. And the only way to stop is when people shoot back.
Let me be straight up with everybody here, your audience here. Number one, the gun violence issue in Chicago is a black man's issue. Over 80% of the gun violence occurs in the African-American community. Black men need to step up and address issues in their community right now. Black Lives Matter, we need to use the same model. The way people protest against police shootings, we need to protest against the gun violence in Chicago in big numbers, and then hopefully we can get them guys to come to the table so we can mediate conflicts on the front end. It's incumbent upon black men to step up. Everybody wants to have a meeting, and then they have another meeting. People talking about federal funds and all that kind of information there. You can bring $1 billion to Chicago. You're not going to stop the gun violence until the gun violence is a cultural issue. Black men need to take care of their business and stop playing games. A lot of leaders just trying to chase clout, trying to get an interview to make themselves talk like they're talking good talk, but instead of going out there on the ground level, working with the people, a lot of people they're absent from that type of work there. And like I said, I don't want to come out too critical. I'm just being straight up. I represent a voice for the voiceless people in Chicago. I meet with victims of gun violence all the time. We mediate conflicts on the front end. We stop people from killing people before any shots are fired. We're doing the best we can do.
We stop people.
What needs to happen right now, we need a black unity program. I've said this many, many times before. Everything else appears to be
a black unity program. We stop people from killing people up front. How do you do that? How do you know that these people are going to kill people? Are you clairvoyant? Did somebody call you and say, "Oh, we're beefing over here. We're going to kill so and so"? See, they're trying to get that federal money. See, it's all about these community activists getting paid, like Sharpton and the rest of these clowns. See, we don't need T.O. Hartman. He needs to get a job. His ass needs to go to work, not running the community. I want to hear this one more time.
It's a fire. We're doing the best we can do. But what needs to happen right now, we need a black unity program. I've said this many, many times before. Everything else appears to be failing. So let's invest in black unity here.
What the hell is black unity? I don't want to deal with anything black. All of my life, whenever I've dealt with anything black, it has totally been a farce and nonsensical and not ever worked out the way it was supposed to, except with my fraternity. Other than that, I wouldn't give you 2 shakes of this for this black stuff. Black unity. What the hell is black unity? We had to, there is no black unity. So, with that said, what are we going to do? AJ, what are we going to do? That's the question. What do we do? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. But I know what I would do. I would organize special groups and go into the community and use the RICO and the Patriot Act to eradicate folks from the neighborhood. That's what I would do. I'm going to write a piece on that in a minute. I'm not going to take long, but I'm going to put a piece up on my website. So we're going to get busy. I got to pick up the pace. Got to pick up the pace. Hey, look, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back.
Hello, this is Dan Perkins from America's Cannabis Conversation, and I'm here to talk to you about how you can take responsibility for your own health. CV Science products that can help you empower yourself against the COVID-19 virus are CV Acute and CV Defense. The Acute product is taken at an early onset of feelings of discomfort and works over 3 days to assist your immune system to fight off the virus. The second product is CV Defense, which is taken daily, and it helps to optimize the power of your immune system to fight off this virus. Recently on my program, I had an interview with Dr. Michael Lewis, who's been in public health for decades. I asked him about personal responsibility, and he said,
"You are responsible for your own health. Don't count on the government to provide you with a magic pill or a magic shot for your health. That is your personal responsibility."
If you want to empower yourself and take control of your health care, go to empoweryourself.info. That's empoweryourself.info and take care of your health care.
Into a sanctuary country for all illegal aliens from around the world. And now that logic is being extended to our Border Patrol and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, even all of DHS.
I think open border chaos is exactly what she wants. You can't be that dumb to think that if you take away funding from those agencies that protect our border, that somehow you're not going to have chaos at the border.
That was Tom Scalise. And I'm sorry, Tom Cotton, Senator Tom Cotton, and Congressman Scalise talking about Congressman Tlaib's rant on taking down Homeland Security. So, yeah, that was loud, wasn't it? Where did it come from? I better cut that off. Let's see, cut that off. Okay, so I'm just saying, we need to pay attention. We need to step up, and we need to do some housekeeping, especially at the border, especially in these Black communities. They want to go people of color. I don't play that people of color thing. We'll deal with it. Like I said, I'm going to write a piece. Okay, let's see here. All right.
Yeah, Jillian, it's good to be with you. And frankly, it's very disturbing when you hear a sitting member of Congress referring to people who are keeping our nation secure as terrorists. I've been down with the Border Patrol agents. I went down there a few months ago, and we actually went and saw just how out of control the border is because of President Biden's policies, where he's literally opened the border. The real big concern is that right now it's the drug cartels from Mexico and the Democrat Party has become more and more in Washington the party of defunding police, defunding Border Patrol, defunding ICE. Who's standing up for Americans who are hardworking, who want to have a functioning legal system of immigration, including, by the way, the millions of people who come here legally, who wait in line, who follow the process. And so I think they're first of all, they're way out of step with the American people. But the far left radical base of the Democrat Party is controlling the agenda, and President Biden is letting them write these.
Subvert the American way of life. I say we turn around these millions and millions of people who are here illegally. I say we turn around the undocumented. That's my suggestion. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to put forth an agenda that I hope meets the needs or your needs or captures your interest. So there we are. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm trying to capture in these last few minutes. We're looking at what was it? I think it was, let me see. It was something that I wanted to talk about. It was in my notes. Hold on. It's not critical race theory. I'm so tired of talking about critical race theory because these people have blown it into something that it's not even. But there's a lot of killing going on out here, and nobody's really talking about this. Like James Dakota Burnson has a violent history in his short adult life. Now he and his friend, both currently in prison, are charged with the murder of Linda Nabalinka of Salt Lake City. She's a good-looking girl too. How did they kill this woman? This after neighbors reported hearing gunfire and a dark SUV speeding from the scene where Nabalinka was shot. Investigators noted that a maroon Toyota Sakota, that's really a nice car, uh, had been reported stolen March 8th, 2020. Wow. Amazing. Kill that woman. Out on bail. Charging documents say the informant had given Brunson Murner money to buy drugs on the night of the shooting, and Brunson called to say he would be late in returning and told the informant to look for news about a Mill Creek shooting. Sick puppy. In addition to the murder charges, Brunson and Thorpe are charged with aggravated battery, aggravated robbery, and possession of a firearm by a restricted person. They may be held without bond. They're both in jail. How'd they get out? That's the question. How'd they get out? So, I tell you, it's amazing. Britney Spears. Poor Britney. Hate that. I hate that. I hate that she has to go through all this nonsense. They said she posted a topless photo amid her conservatorship battle. Why would you do that, Brittany? Just it makes you appear to be more unstable, which you are, but hey, it's none of our business. Wow. UK billionaire rips affirmative action, says Black Lives Matter has caused more bigotry. Interesting. Like he knows about bigotry or anything else, but that's what the guy says. British billionaire ripped affirmative action as being dangerous for society, suggested that Black Lives Matter movement created more bigotry. He said, I'm not very keen on unbalancing society by, quote, by having quotas. There are no quotas, fool. John Caldwell. See, these are people who make up things in their own mind. There are no quotas in affirmative action, even though there should be, so that goals can be met. He found that he made his money in cell phones, cell phone stores, phones for you. So I became a billionaire. Good for him. I always think the best person should win, whether they're black, white, male, or female. You're full of shit. He's worth $3 billion and thinks he knows something. You think that a black man could have gotten the money or a black woman could have gotten the money from a bank that you got? Absolutely not. They've done studies after studies after studies where black guys have gone in with a plan, been turned down, white guy take the same plan and get it funded. So I don't want to hear your crap, dude. I don't want to hear it at all. I think positive discrimination is dangerous for society. He told the Times Education Committee a year-long study into whether radical change is needed in EU education. The UK government pushes a bill to crack down on illegal immigration and hold immigrants offshore. Yes. That's great. That's great. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm not going to give this guy Caldwell any more time. He's just a figment in our imagination as far as I'm concerned. The guy, he's bad. Hey, look, here we go. Britney Spears, topless picture. Let me see if they have a picture of her up. I doubt if they do. I hope not. But somebody needs to get to Britney, set her down, talk to her because she's blowing it. She's blowing it, baby. If she ever hoped to get her kids back, if she ever hoped to, participate and be a real citizen again, she has to chill. She has to chill that she's capable. Show she's competent. You know, I know she had a lot of fame very early, had a lot of ups and downs in her life, had a lot of men who ripped her off. She can't even trust her daddy. You know? Poor girl. Can't even trust her daddy. Wow. Mm. Amazing. So I hope she comes back. Hope she rebounds back because she seems to be a nice person. Hey, look, here in Tampa, hurricanes blown through, came up the coast. Now it's gone. It's beautiful outside. We got a few clouds, but it's just a few clouds. Good weather, great weather. You can't beat it. Let's see here. It says here. No, I'm not going to do that. But hope in the future we can sit down and we can talk about Afghanistan. We can talk about the decision to continue to pull out. And Joe Biden tried to defend that today on TV. I don't think he did a good job at all. But, hey, that's me. I'm a little biased. He did a speech and he just wasn't all there. He wasn't crisp. He wasn't clear. He was waffling. These things are real. I mean, we need a leader. And I don't think Joe is there. I just don't think Joe is the right guy for the right time. He's too old. And he's certainly not decisive in the way that things should be for America. He talks about everything that he's done has destroyed America. Look at the gas prices at the pump. How's that better? How are $4 gas prices? That you people who voted for Joe Biden, tell me that paying $4 at the damn pump is better for America. That our farmers are under attack again. That almost 100,000 people who had good paying jobs are out of work again because of Joe Biden and his. We got to roll back everything, Donald Trump. You didn't have a mandate, USOB. You barely won, and you cheated at that. Nobody came to your rallies. Nobody wanted to see you. Nobody wants to hear you. And he's not president. Most Californians want no part of this nonsense. Well, how did he get started? If they're talking about the Gavin Newsom the Gavin Newsom recall. I heard the New York Times talk about it, and they're like, it's a farce. There are other people who are very serious about it. Oh, yeah, they're very serious about it. Caitlyn Jenner. What's his name? Bruce Jenner, really. Bruce Jenner, yeah. Yeah. He wants to move homeless people to big open fields. Saying they are destroying what? Destroying cities? They're destroying Venice Beach, no question. They are destroying Venice Beach. They got to go. They got to go. They got to go now. Wow. Amazing. I'm sitting here with my mouth open because, I was looking for Gavin Newsom and I end up, somewhere else talking about Venice Beach and Caitlyn and the recall. The recall is going to be interesting. That's what I'm going to try to focus on, the recall. And they officially set the voters to cast ballots in September. So that September, the ballots will be cast for the recall. And we'll see what happens to Gavin. A lot of people are outraged over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and shutting down the whole state for over a year. And just his overreach, his, we're going to send every person on the voting rolls a ballot, whether they're here or not, whether they're dead or alive. We're sending them a ballot. I didn't say that. Newsom did. The latest approval ratings from a May survey from the Public Policy Institute of Chicago found that 57% of voters would vote no to recalling the Democrat governor. Democrats in the legislature on Monday, however, voted to change the election code to expedite voting in the recall. Democrats say an early recall minimizes Newsom's risk because his adversaries will have less time to make a case against him. It also shortens the window for a natural disaster like a wildfire or another COVID wave to jeopardize his approval ratings. Interesting. We'll see. See, that to me, the papers always get it wrong. Oh, he's not gonna. People are pissed. That's what they said about Brexit. Oh, Brexit. If you read all the papers, Brexit, the people aren't leaving. The people aren't leaving. They wouldn't leave Great Britain. They wouldn't leave the EU. Man, they were gone. They had 2 referendums. Papers are all saying, oh, no, the polls say that the Brits aren't leaving the EU. They left in droves. Wow. I'm looking at so the Department of Finance says it sent the final cost estimates to state leaders on Thursday morning, $276 million to run this recall effort. They had 117 million people voted to recall this guy. Wow. Hey, well, look, we're going to sign off, and we'll be back tomorrow. Talk about the 1776 project. Okay, so this is signed off with Red State. We are still here on YouTube, and we're talking about the recall and Gavin Newsom. I don't think Gavin's going to make it. Like I said, if you read the papers, they're, he's here to stay. We love Gavin Newsom. Well, that's not what the people are saying. That's why they voted to recall. So we'll see what happens. A shout out to California Democrats for manipulating their own recall rules, said the Republican chair, Jessica Patterson. Now, Californians have only to wait until September 14th to recall the worst governor in California history, Gavin Newsom. All registered California voters will receive a mail ballot for the election, similar to the 2020 presidential election. Voter fraud, baby. Voter fraud. Mail-in ballot. Voter fraud. That's not Charles Butler speaking. That's Baker Carter. Hey, look, the only other time Californians have voted in a gubernatorial recall was in 2003, and they recalled Democrat Governor Gray Davis, and that's how they got Arnold Schwarzenegger. Guy who, Arnold tried, but Arnold's not the brightest bulb in the closet, Juan Rodriguez, the leader of Newsom's Stop the Republican Recall Committee, painted the current effort as a work of Trump supporters. Why does Trump keep coming up in these things? Amazing. So his group put out there the Stop the Republican Recall. This Republican recall is a naked attempt by Trump Republicans to grab control of California, powered by the same Republicans who refused to accept the results of the presidential election and are now pushing voter suppression across laws across the nation. On September 14th, California will have the chance to defend our state and reject this Republican power grab once and for all. If I'm not mistaken, there's a couple of Democrats that jumped in the race too. Wow. Amazing. Now, there's been a whole bunch of hoopla about Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols, neither one of whom I paid much attention to because they're chicks in sports. I don't really pay a lot of attention to women announcers or women interviewers. I think, it's about eye candy and, the sex instead of content. But this is what Maria Taylor had to say about the whole thing, which I thought was interesting. She kind of broke her silence on it. And she said, because the girl basically said the only reason she got the job is because she was black. And they said, well, she apologized and she apologized. No, she only apologized because she got caught. She was certainly pushing that. Oh, they put the black girl ahead of me. But I mean, this has been going on a long time, a very long time. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Ms. Taylor said, what did she say? Ms. Taylor, who on Wednesday, that she had taken some punches, but still in the fight. She'll appear on NBA Countdown probably tonight, so we'll see that. And she said, during the dark times, I always remember that I'm in this position to open doors, light the path that others walk down. Please keep rising. All right, baby. So she wasn't even on the jump Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. They took her off. I can't say that I have any sympathy for her. In fact, none at all. Hey, but look, tomorrow we're certainly going to be here, and we'll be talking about Project 7, critical race theory, and how that's been bastardized and conflated. But hey, it is what it is. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And we will be back tomorrow, Friday, Freedom Friday.